Let's just wait another few seconds and then we'll crack on. Can you all hear me okay? Just put your thumbs up if you can hear me. Good. Let's just zoom this in. Rebecca's got her tea there. Okay, we will crack on because it's 8:31. So if people join, I can let them in as we work through the session. So very good morning to you. Hope you are all well. The class that we're doing today is all about preparing our body for the day, getting moving for the day. I'm really stressing it is not an exercise class, so it's not about being out of breath, it's not about pushing or forcing your body. What I really want you to do is to actually tune into your body and notice what is going on in your body. So for those of you who've done my breathing workshops, you'll know that it's very much focused on body awareness. Sorry, I'm just letting a few more people in there. Is very much focused on body awareness rather than me just telling you what to do. And that's exactly what I want to do today. So I'll be demonstrating some movement, but I don't want you to feel that you have to copy me. I want you to take your body and your breath to the point that is comfortable for you. So watch what I'm doing, but at the same time pay even more attention to what I'm actually suggesting for you to do. So that puts the emphasis on me to really make sure I describe these movements in detail, because what is difficult with this is I can't see you and I can't sort of guide you, and as I'm not in a room with you. You're in control, so you very much take control of your own body. If anything that I suggest is too much for you, then you just stop. That's simple as that. In a way, I want it to be too easy for you because I want us to be able to checking in with what's actually going on in the body. And I'll show you ways in some of the exercises or some of the practices that we can progress that, and then also some of the ways that we can regress it if it's a little bit too challenging for you. Let me just double check. A couple more people being admitted, and then we'll crack on. So I'd like you to start on the floor. If you've got a comfortable mat, and if you need a cushion just for the back of your head, because I want you to feel comfortable. So I'm just going to put that little cushion there so I can get the nape of my neck, so the really base of my skull there, lengthen on the mat. So just place my head on the mat, and I would like you to lengthen the legs, so just let the legs straighten out. And you're just going to take a few seconds. Push my chair away. Just a few seconds just to check in. Let the hips relax. Feel where the heels are in contact with the ground. Feel the back of the calves in contact with the ground. You'll feel your bum in contact with the ground. Where are your arms? Elbows, shoulders, a little bit of space perhaps in the bottom of the lower back, and then the mid back, shoulders on the ground. If the cushion is pulling your head too far forwards, then you can get rid of the cushion. If you're comfortable without the cushion, you can just have the base of the skull just resting on the ground. So this is a perfect place to actually lengthen out the spine because you're not having to do any work. Gravity is doing the work. So you just allow yourself to trust the floor, feel supported by the ground, and just let yourself soften into the ground. Just checking with the breath. Is your breathing easy, soft? all of the movements, all of the moving practice that we do today is going to be controlled by the breath. So when the breath changes, if you notice that you start to unintentionally hold the breath, or the breath gets a little bit chaotic, or you get out of breath, you just stop the practice. Now what I'd like you to do is just turn your palms so your palms are facing the sky. Your arms are still relaxed. And your arms are about 45 degrees from the body. And just gently, with the back of the forearm, of the right forearm and wrist, just gently push that into the ground. So it might raise that right shoulder a little bit. So just really gently push into the ground and then come to the other side. Push the left forearm into the ground so the left shoulder raises a little bit. And then just gently rock side to side. The head may roll a little bit. It's really subtle, slow movement. If anybody's done any Feldenkrais work or any original strength work, it's all about subtlety of movement and noticing what's going on. And now let's just create a rhythm. So you're just gently pushing down into the ground with the forearm, the back of the forearm, and then you go the other side. So what we're doing here is we're working on the spine. So we're looking at really subtle, gentle rotation through the spine. The spine often gets locked and rigid, but actually there's lots of space between each vertebra. So as you're doing this, you can almost visualize the crown of your head being lengthened behind you, and the base of the spine being lengthened in front of you. So the spine is lengthening out, the tailbone. And each little rotation, the spine is lengthening and rotating, and just rest there. So that actually might be quite hard work on the shoulders and the arms, because you've got quite a lot of body weight there that you're working. And take a few moments in this position. Again, just tune in, notice any unnecessary tension, let go of any unnecessary tension. So when we take the rest elements of the practice, completely let go and relax. So we really get that balance between strength and softness. Now we're going to bring the focus and the attention to the hips. So we still use the arms, as you push the right back of the forearm into the ground, you just let that right hip lift up. So it's a little bit more challenging. You push the left and you let the left hip. It's very small movements. It's not about forcing or going beyond. It should feel quite challenging, but it's a small movement. So you're just rocking the pelvis, if you like, side to side. So you'll feel one side of your sitting bone, one side of the sacrum, a little bit more load on it, a little bit more weight on it, and then the other. So you're just pushing and rolling, pushing and rolling. Get the rhythm going, get the breath easy, soft, rhythmical. And just do 10 of those in your own time. So we count 1 as you're going one side, 2 as you're going the other side. So do 10 of those in your own time. And then come to rest when you've done 10. Pushing gently with the forearm. The legs stay heavy. And then when you've done 10, this is your rest point. So again, you just soften and let everything go. Just tune in with the breath again. Easy, light, soft
calming breath. And now you're going to imagine that you just laid, relaxing, give the shoulders a little bit of a shake if you want. Bring the fingers together, so you've got your fingers laced together. And you're just going to chill out, put your hands at the back of the head. So the base of the thumbs are underneath the base of the skull. And let the shoulders just open up across the collarbone. So you've got that collarbone nice and wide, legs are relaxed. And just feel the weight of the head actually in the hands there. So really, with the weight of the head in the hands, just the head nice and long. Feel that length through the back of the neck. And now what I'd like you to do, and again this is a very small move, I don't want any strain, I don't want any force, actually just lift the head off the ground. And this is hard work because your head can weigh anything up to 5 kilograms. And then place the head back on the ground, but lengthen it out, lengthen the neck, and relax the shoulders. So you're using your arms to lift the head. You're not doing a crunch, you're not pulling the neck stays relaxed. And again, lift the head. It's hard work. I can feel my shoulders working, I can feel my arms working. Keep the neck long, no strain. So the throat is relaxed. If I was straining, you would hear me doing this. So no strain, breathing easy. And then slowly back down. Slow and control, let the elbows just relax onto the ground, feel the collarbone opening up. And I want you to do 4 more of those in your own time. Just lift, slowly, slowly, slowly. And then place down. There are 2 ways of intensifying a movement. One is speeding it up, and the other is slowing it down. So actually slow movement is actually really challenging, but it gives you a chance to body sense, notice, be aware of what's going on. But it's also really strengthening your neurological connections throughout the body, throughout the chains, muscular chains, the nervous system. And it's also strengthening the muscles because you're really having to work. Small movements. And then when you've done 4 of those, just rest again. Take a moment. This is your rest and recovery. Then place the base of the skull on the ground again. Pop your arms by the side. Again, palms facing upwards. And we're just going to do some gentle rolls. So you're using your eyes now. So look above you, look at the ceiling or whatever's above you. And then be really inquisitive and just go, oh, what's over there to the left? So actually use the eyes to lead the movement. So you're just looking to the left. No strain. There's nothing exciting over there. So I'm just going to look back to the ceiling. Looking across the ceiling. Let's have a look to the right. So let the eyes lead the movement. So you look to the right. So you're just rolling on that base of the skull. Back to the ceiling. And just a few more. Looking to the left. And then slowly. Notice what's going on in the rest of the body. Do you feel the movement through any part of the spine? Does it stop anywhere as you're rolling? And then come back to center. And again, this is your let go and soften and relax time in the center. Now, in your own time, bring the feet to standing. Bring the feet together, just roll over to the side. So you come in as if you're going to, in like a fetus position, a fetal position, and then you're just going to come up slowly, 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 slowly. And then you're going to come onto all fours. Now, if it's hard on the knees, just get something that you can put your knees on, so your knees are comfortable. So I don't want any pain or anything going on in the knees. So in this all four position, you want to make sure that the shoulder is directly above the wrist, or the wrist is directly under the shoulder, and the knees are directly under the hips. So watch that we're not in this position where you're spreading out. So knees directly underneath the hips, wrists directly underneath the shoulders. So you're in that position like that. You can keep your feet so they're just relaxed, so the top of the foot is just resting on the ground. And what I want you to do, if you've done yoga, you'll have done this one before, is focus on the pelvis and just tuck the pelvis underneath. So we're just rounding the lower back. Don't worry about the upper back at the minute. And again, make sure none of this is forced. So I'm not thinking exercise, I'm not thinking stretching, I'm just thinking mobilizing. And then you're going to stick your tailbone towards the sky. No pushing, no forcing. If you get to the point where you're going, you've gone too far. So it's just really smooth. Tuck the pelvis. And then stick your tailbone to the sky. So again, we're just working on the spine. Gentle, soft, fluid movement. A couple more like that. Tuck. And then tailbone to the sky. And then find that midpoint where it feels nice and easy. So you'll get a natural, everybody's got slightly different curve, but you've got that natural curve in the lower back. Tummy's relaxed in this position. Now we're going to do the same with the upper body. So you're going to take the focus to the collarbone here, so across the collarbone, not the neck. And we're just going to look up, lifting that sternum, lifting the collarbone. And then gently drop the head forwards, tucking the collarbone in. So we'll get some little movement in the lower back as well, but we're just focusing collarbone. You'll feel a really nice lengthening here across the front of the collarbone, not the neck. So it's not the neck is following the collarbone. And then back down. And then forwards, collarbone. Watch that the shoulders aren't hunching towards the neck, so keep the shoulders back. Good. And back down. And then we'll put the two together. So we'll go pelvis tuck, and then really round upper body. Lead from the pelvis. It's like a ripple down the spine. And collarbone. And then collarbone, pelvis, slow, fluid, again no forcing, shoulders nice and strong. You might be feeling it through the shoulders and through the arms right now. Couple more like that. Slow. We're not stretching, we're not forcing, we're not trying to look like anything. We're just feeling that fluid movement through the body, no strain. And rest there. If you're comfortable just to sit back on the knees, so sit back on the heels. Bring your arms, forearms to the ground. So your forearms are at 11 o'clock. So make sure that the elbows come in. So we're not like that. The elbows are in. So you've got parallel forearms. And you might, if you're comfortable,
Get in a comfortable position, so you might need to take the knees a little bit wider apart. And then we're just going to gently rock forwards, put a little bit of weight through the arms, and then use the arms and the hands, spread the fingers to rock back, pushing you back. So again, rock forwards, weight through the upper body, through the arms, rock back. If this is tough, just do a little bit. You can come up onto the arms, just literally rock forwards and backwards. Again, we shouldn't be straining or forcing. Forwards, I'll just come to side on, keep going. If this is easy, you can just walk the arms forwards a little bit. So it just gives you a bigger lever to rock forwards on and rock backwards on. Really put the palm of the hands into the ground as well. You can spread your fingers, use the hands, use the palms. Couple more like that. And then what you can do is when we get to the end bit there, is just rest in that position a bit. If you're comfortable, you can put the forehead onto the ground and use this as one of your rest spots to feel all that gravity doing its work. And then bring yourself forwards. Bring the right arm onto the ground, left arm onto the ground. So you come back into all fours. Back onto the knees. And we're going to get up from here. So you can either get up by however you want to, or if you want to try this one, just bring the right foot to the side of the body. So you've got your right foot and your right arm in the side of the body there. And then you can put a little bit of weight, bring the right hand and the left hand forwards. And then you're going to bring left foot up. Again, be really comfortable in this. Only if you're comfortable. I don't want you to push or force anything. Back onto the heels and come up into a standing position. Give your legs a bit of a shake out. I am just going to change camera. And bear with me 1 second because my battery's gone. So grab a drink if you need a drink. All okay? Everybody all right? Grab your... No, we don't need a chair actually. You're all looking good in this. Take your feet... Actually, first of all, we'll start... How are we doing time-wise? Going really quick again. Not used to only doing half an hour. Take your feet about hip-width apart. Let's just balance. A little bit of balance. Visualize in the pelvic area here, just below the belly button, your centre of gravity. So if you take that centre of gravity too far back, you'll fall backwards. If you take that centre of gravity too far forward, you'll fall forward. So what I want you to do is find that balance point. Your pelvis is in a neutral position. Find the balance point where you're in contact with the ground. Get the rib cage balanced over the pelvis, get the head on top of the spine. So first of all, we've got to learn to balance just in a standing posture. Then what I want you to do is bring your feet a little bit closer together, so we go about fist width apart. And I want you now to stabilise on the right leg. So you're going to balance on your right leg. When you're confident that you're stable on that right leg, you just lift the left leg off the ground. Now obviously if you fall, if your breath changes, just stop, put the left leg back on the ground. But let's play around with finding balance. What's working? What happens if I change my upper body position? If I lean back, I feel it in the hip. Really explore where is that your strongest balance position. The foot will be working. This leg, your left leg, is just free. And then you can maybe challenge, move your left leg around and just play around with balancing on that right leg. So you're strong, stable, balanced on that right leg. And then come back to balance on both legs. And then we're going to do the opposite. So stabilize now on the left leg. So your left leg is your strong leg. Your left side of your body is strong. Balance, lift the right leg. What really helps as well when you're balancing is not just to think of everything balanced on the ground, because then you start to come down, 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 down. And once you're balanced, think of connecting upwards as well. So you're lengthening up towards the sky. So balance is very much balancing between the ground and the sky. If we lengthen up, it helps us. Give that right leg a little bit of a shake. And then come back to centre, maybe give your legs a little bit of a shake out. We're going to do the same thing but with one difference, and I'll tell you as we work through it. Stabilise on the right leg, so you know that that's going to be your strong, stable side of the body. Lengthen up to the sky, so this is the easy bit. Balance on your right leg. Now what I'd like you to do is close your eyes. Ooh, that really makes a difference. Again, open your eyes, stop when it gets challenging. What happens to the breath? What happens to the body when you close your eyes? Where does your body have to start working? And then come back to balance. Stabilize on the left leg. Balance. Lengthen upwards. Lift the right leg off the ground, eyes open at the minute. So you're nice, you're confident, you're strong, you're stable. Close your eyes. Ooh, find that centre of gravity. Good. Shake the legs out. Going to finish with a very, very basic functional movement, and that's sitting. So I want you to imagine you've got a chair behind you. Take your feet just slightly wider than hips, about shoulder width apart. First of all, let's just start off by hinging at the hips. So when we're hinging at the hips, what I'm doing is I'm keeping my pelvis in neutral and I'm just hinging my upper body forwards from the hips. So you'll see the hips go, the bum goes back a little bit. I'm not doing that. I'm not hinging from the waist. I'm just hinging from the hips. So the hips are going back. And if I imagine I've got a chair behind me there, what I'd like you to do is focus on your centre of gravity and actually lower your centre of gravity, but keeping that upper body nice and tall. So again, I'm not doing that. I'm literally keeping the upper body tall, but it's just slightly tilting forwards to keep my centre of gravity in the right place. So I'm just lowering down and coming up. So again, you're just tilting, lowering down. Do your hands, whatever you want to do with your hands, just to counterbalance, and come up and down, slowly, 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 and come up, down. You'll feel the weight through the heels. Use the legs to drive you back up. And if we just get into here, that's fine. Again, I don't want you to push beyond what you're comfortable with. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, if you feel comfortable, go a little bit deeper. But again, go to the depth where before the breath changes. So if you start to get out of breath, if it starts to get hard work, Let's just do a few of those. So count maybe down, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's really slow. Do a couple more. Lowering down. The knees are just gently floating over the ankles. And then come to standing. Give the legs a little bit of a shake out. And we'll finish off. We'll start with the squat. So you're going down into that squat, but it's almost like the air is really thick and heavy. So you're scooping through the air, and then your arms are coming up in front of you, and then it's like a nice big, it's nice big stretch first thing in the morning. Elbows soft. So we're going to go down again into that little squat, squat down, scooping through the air, bringing it into the body, reach, fingers soft. 3 more of those in your own time. Really reach and extend, open up through the collarbone. When we're opening up the chest, we're not thrusting the ribs forwards, we're opening up here at the collarbone. Big difference. Smooth, easy. Good. And rest there. Give the hands a shake. Give the legs a bit of a shake. And we will finish there. Has anybody got any questions? If you've got any questions, give me a quick question. I'll unmute you if anybody wants to ask any questions. And what I'm going to do is I will pop the replay as like a little portal where I'm putting these replays, which means you can then log into that, see the replay, and it's also got like a comment section. So it's quite nice after the class that you can comment on that. And then I'll put, because I'm doing 4 of these through May, and we'll progress them a little bit. So hopefully you can make all of those, but you'll be able to see all the 4 replays there as well. Any questions, anybody? No? Good. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully I will see you next week. And if you do have any questions, obviously just drop them in the portal. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.